Hi there, great to have your attention for a bit. In the next few minutes, I'm going to give you a turbocharged demo of CM.com's contact center software called Mobile Service Cloud. Let's go. So, Mobile Service Cloud is a contact center solution. It supports more than a dozen channels to deal with your questions efficiently. Let me show you. This is constantly expanded upon to ensure you can serve your consumers where they are, on their channel of preference. Of course, this entails email, calls, live chats, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, Instagram messaging, Twitter DM, and much more. And we do so in a channel-agnostic way. This goes a step beyond the concept of omnichannel. That just means all channels can be dealt with, but it says little to nothing about how you actually deal with them. Channel agnostic means that we not only have all the channels that you want, but we treat them all in the exact same way, which in turn enables you to offer a qualitative and very consistent experience to your consumers on each of those channels. Let me show you what I'm talking about. We enter Mobile Service Cloud in the dashboard. This control center gives you an immediate overview of what's going on. All conversations from all channels are neatly prioritized in a unified way based on SLA. So we've got red, yellow, and green, simply indicating what you need to do. You don't really have to think or apply triage. You just work from top to bottom, and that guarantees that you're following a sequence which safeguards the promises made to your customers. With these intuitive traffic light indicators, that red, yellow, and green, you see what needs to be done. Red means too late, 100% of SLA has gone past. Yellow means SLA is at risk, and green means that there's not much to worry about yet. You still have plenty of time to answer the questions of the consumer typically. As an agent, I just work from my personal inbox that has all the conversations that were routed to me with skill-based routing and capacity routing. This can come in via a whole host of channels, as you can see. I work towards the magical inbox 0, and wherever I have time to spare, I can help out my colleagues using the team inbox. Here we see all conversations in the account, regardless of who the owner is of those conversations. I can view, collaborate, and take ownership of these conversations at all times. So it's a very collaborative and open inbox system. So now that we've seen the dashboard, let's take a look at the dynamics of an individual conversation. For this example, I'm going to start a live chat conversation. So we've got a little demo site here. I'm going to start a chat by entering my name, my email address, and typing a message. Now, as you can see, this is a site where we at least pretend to sell shoes. So I'm going to ask questions about some cool sneakers I saw in a store in Amsterdam. I'm going to ask whether I can pay for that with Apple Pay and start the conversation. So if we now switch to Mobile Service Cloud, immediately there's this sense of urgency that's being conveyed. We've got that notification in the bottom right. In the top left, we see that my status was changed to busy because I reached the maximum amount of instantaneous conversations that I can deal with. And in the top right corner, we've got a chat workload monitor going off. And you see that the item here is in the top of my inbox. If we look at that inbox item, the background is flickering green, and it's going to switch to red right away. And that's because at the 30-second mark, we basically say, you're already too late. This consumer on the other end is captured in the browser experience and has to wait for your first response. And if they leave, they lose the chat. So you need to be on the ball and very quick here. So we can see on the inbox item, judging by the channel indicator, that it's a live chat. We can see the name of the consumer, how many purchases they made, and what that collectively was worth for the company, and that they sent over one message. So if I open the conversation, we see the skeleton of any Mobile Service Cloud conversation. On the left-hand side, we've got everything that we discuss with the customer. In the middle section, there is room to collaborate with coworkers, but also external parties, say a courier or a supplier. This is an example here. I'm going to send the message to my coworker. He'll receive that in his inbox in real time and can easily collaborate with me. And as mentioned, I can do the same for a supplier using external email If I send out a message that will be plotted in this conversation in a distinct different color in green, and then when that supplier responds, that will also be plotted in the same conversation. And on the right-hand side, we've got the full customer profile spelling out all the details that I immediately need to know about the consumer, his or her transaction history, and the full conversation history across all channels. So back to the left-hand side, because in the meantime, of course, there's still someone in the background asking about a purchase that they want to make. So if that consumer takes a look at something on your website, now in this example, right, it's shoes as a product, but it can be anything that you'd like to insert. You see that that gets reflected in the screen, real time and inline in the conversation. So this maximizes the context that as an agent you have available to answer the question at hand. And we construct a little pre-sales journey with this as well, because we can see in the top left corner where this conversation was initiated, on the homepage in this case. The automatic tags tell you something about the subject at hand, and we've got those products in line informing us like, okay, these are probably the shoes that this person is inquiring about. We could even take it a step further and send a co-browsing invitation, after which, without any plugins or downloads, we instantly start screen sharing with a click of a button, but you should only do so if you sell high-margin products. Now, of course, you invest all this effort in a conversation in hopes of actually completing with the purchase. So let's take a look at how that works. We're going to return to the store and actually make a purchase because I was happy with the advice that was given to me. I'm gonna start the payment. Excellent, there we go. And if we then return to the screen of Mobile Service Cloud, you'll hear a little cash register ringing. So as you can see, we attributed the revenue of this actual purchase to the service interaction. Now the cool thing is, we don't just do this for live chat, but we can do this for any channel, even the phone. So this brings your reporting to the next level, where you can also show how your department is contributing to the top line of the company in terms of revenue attribution. Now the cool thing is, now that we've seen one channel, we've sort of seen them all. Because as mentioned before, every channel works and feels the same way in Mobile Service Cloud. That's where the channel agnostic character really shines through. So let's take WhatsApp as another example, and after that, we'll place a call. So here is a WhatsApp conversation, and as said, this has the same skeleton. So left-hand side, everything customer. In the middle section, we can still collaborate with colleagues or third parties, and we've got that full customer profile again with the personal details, transaction details, and conversation history. The only difference being in this case, we started the conversation with a bot in between, and you can see that the chatbot here asks a couple of qualifying questions, after which it will orchestrate a handover to the agent, which looks just like a forward from agent to agent, and auto messages take over right after. So that's WhatsApp as an example, and this will work the same way for Facebook Messenger, Instagram messaging, or any other messaging channel. So let's show you how this works for the phone. So I'm gonna grab my phone and place an actual call. There we go. And it comes into Mobile Service Cloud. There we are. And as soon as I pick up, you saw that my status was changed to busy on the phone. So I'm closed off for other inbound activity, so I can do my thing with the consumer on a call. And we've got that same structure again. So left-hand side, everything customer, middle section, room to collaborate with our colleagues and third parties. And we've got the full customer profile again on the right-hand side. Even the action buttons are in a trusted place. Now, this consistency in the user experience ensures that your agents can focus on what matters, which is the actual customer at hand. They don't need to spend any brain power on the system because they intuitively understand and know how it works. Now, there's lots more to show and tell, but for that, I'd like to point you to our website, CM.com, where you can find my colleagues, more information, and more videos just like this one. Thanks for watching.